впроваджує його компанія, аби знати добре і швидко, що ж там відбувається під землею. Будь ласка.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. I would like to know who's a farmer in the audience. Are there farmers?
Я бы хотел знать, кто фермер в аудитории. Есть фермеры? Кто-то?
Okay.
Руку.
One?
Фермер? Фермеры.
Okay.
One.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wat zegt u? Kan huis. Welcome everybody. I would like to tell you something about SoilCares. We're a Dutch firm, and we exist out of a lot of companies. I would like to tell you about the value of our services. So it's not just about what we do, but officially also what you can gain with it, who we are, our vision, our techniques, and how we can develop your business, or let's say the business in the Ukraine. Our founder used to be the owner of the biggest soil and feed laboratory in the Netherlands. It is a laboratory which all the Dutch farmers do their soil test and their feed test. And he sold that 3 years ago to a big company which is called Eurofins. Probably people know that here because they are here as well. But he had a dream. He wanted to bring soil sensoring, soil analyzing in the hand of the farmer. So not in an expensive wet chemistry laboratory, because that's far and that's expensive. And he wanted to make a sensor on a telephone to measure soil. This is 3 years ago, and I'll take you through the development. And we actually developed 2 products, which is a sensor, which is a scanner for soil, and a full laboratory which is based on X-ray and mid-infrared. We also have other companies. I don't have a laser pen here. The middle? Yes. Okay. We have also other companies. We have the Nutrient Management Institute, which are a group of 25 real high educated nutrient specialists, agronomists. They help us develop our fertilizer advice, which comes out of our products. We have Spring, because we do everything with sensors. We use big data, so we have our own IT company. We have our own foundation, because we try to reach every farmer in the world, which are also the really small-scale farmers, which in the development countries are a lot and they're hard to reach, and we have to educate them a little as well. So we have a foundation who helps us get our stuff in the fields. We have 4 products. We have the laboratory in a box. I'll get back to that later. We have the soil scanner, but we also have something for the greenhouses. In the greenhouses you have flies, and they fly to the sticky plates, and they are counted by scouts. This is labor-intensive work, and we actually digitalize that. So we made a box which makes a photograph of the sticky plates, and the software is calculating the flies and give a management software back to the farmer. So it's a very nice tool. Next to that we have Clear Detections. Clear Detections is a DNA company that has a kit that can extract the DNA from nematodes in the soil and recognize it and count the nematodes in the soil, so you know how many of which nematodes are in the soil. Nematodes, you have good and you have bad nematodes. If you have bad nematodes, you're in trouble. So that's a very interesting product. We sell that to laboratories in the world. That's the introduction of the company. Our motive is feeding the world. We are actually not a social enterprise, but we are a regular enterprise. But our owner has a dream, which is making sure that everybody in the world has food. Now we are a growing population in the world, and our arable land is going down, and our yields are decreasing instead of increasing, and we are trying to help increase yields so that there's more food for people in all over the world. So also in development countries, but as you can see later in my presentation, we can gain something in the Ukraine as well. How do we do that? We believe in putting our knowledge in the hand of each farmer in the world. So we try to make sure that the knowledge of a huge laboratory in the Netherlands, which is high level, we try to get that knowledge in the hand of every farmer in the world. How do we do that? We use sensor techniques for that. That is not new, that exists for a long time, but the way we use it is very game-changing and is very different. It's very high technology, but I will make sure that you understand it. It's a very easy process. I've got a little question, like the questions before, but there are no farmers in the world, in the room. So I'll ask Caroline, can you please assist me in this? Okay, can you tell me which is the highest organic matter of the top two soils? Thank you very much. Which one is the clay soil of the two? Very good. And which one has the highest clay content? Very good. She used her eyes as a sensor and her brain as a database. The more you know about soil, the more you know what you see. If I ask those questions to my mother and has them all wrong, but because she knows a little about soil, she had most of them correctly. So it's a very good way of knowing what to do. If you're an expert, you know everything about soil. But you can only see a small part, because you can only see this little part of the whole spectrum with your eyes. So actually what we do is we extend the range you can see by using sensors, and we extend the brain by using a database. And that's the only thing we do, which makes it simple to understand and easy to use. How do we do that? What can you tell about the skeleton of this man? It's a handsome man, by the way, but you cannot see anything because you need X-ray to see anything about the skeleton. So what we do is we use infrared and X-ray to see more of the soil, so you have more knowledge of the soil. And we do that value project. This is a full setup of a laboratory in a box, which contains out the regular preparation of a soil. You have to crush it, you have to dry it, and then you have to make powder of it with a ball mill. And then it goes in two sensors. It goes in the X-ray machine and it goes in a mid-infrared. And from this extraction, from these two sensors, you get a full scale knowledge of your soil. You get a full report, and you get a fertilizer report from us per crop, specific per country and specific per customer. So you get a real specific fertilizer advice of your soil. The difference between the two laboratories is mostly the cost. So a full wet chemistry laboratory, which is with all the expensive materials, will cost you, with setup, with everything with it, around €1 million. And the laboratory we are presenting is only €85,000. Each soil test, and you know that probably you do soil tests, each soil test is about between 10 and €80, depending on where you do it and who does it. But it's an expensive process. If you do it on our lab, it's only €5. So the time and the money is a lot different. Also, another difference is the quality and the knowledge of laboratories. If you look at the laboratories in development countries, nobody's really trusting them, and they're old-fashioned. And we needed to do something to change that and to make it better. So what we do is we make a laboratory which can run 10,000 samples a year if you do it with one shift. If you do it with 3 shifts, you can speed it up. And it's your own lab and it's your own result, so which is very easy to use. You don't need any lab people with, you don't need any specialist. Everybody can run that lab. It's very easy to use and it's very simple. This is an example of the report we're sending. We're sending of what's in the soil. We send a fertilizer advice pre-planting, at planting and after planting, so that you have a real advice in all phases of the crop grow. But also we look at the availability of fertilizers in a region, so that we don't give an advice of fertilizers which are not available in a certain region. Nutrients that this customer would like to have. The next product is the handheld scanner. It's a soil scanner that works, and with this connects to the cell phone. You just make a scan of the soil, and within 2 minutes you have a full report of NPK, organic matter, and pH and EC, and it's ready in 2 minutes, and you get a fertilizer report directly on your cell phone. It's a very fast way of measuring soil. It's not as accurate as the laboratory, but it's a different price as well. It's only 2,000 euros, so it's affordable for a lot more people, and it's a very quick, easy to use machine. We are very proud of it. This is the result you get on your on the app. It uses an app and it connects with Bluetooth, and you can or do it directly in the field, or you just do it when you have a 3G or a Wi-Fi connection at your farm. How does it work? Actually, both the systems make a scan, make an infrared scan. The scan is sent to a database. In the database there are thousands of samples which we have analyzed in our golden standard laboratory, and on our sensors. And this combination makes that we actually make a connection between wet chemistry and sensors. And with this connection, we can make a very accurate result in the analyzing. But for that, we need to build up this calibration database. This calibration database means that we take samples from the world and then bring them to the laboratory in the Netherlands. Now here is a map where you can see where we have done this. We've done it in North America, we've done it in the Netherlands, we've done it in Ukraine, and in the eastern part of Africa. So that's where we are now, but we are growing, so we will be doing the whole world, but that takes time and it's expensive. So we'll be there, but it takes a while. Our golden standard laboratory is one of the nicest laboratories in the world, which is very high scaled, and we have all the measurement tools that are available at a very high level. We do feed as well as soil there, and it's all based for calibration purposes only. So we don't do soil tests for anybody, we just sell the equipment, and we need this laboratory to calibrate our systems. We store every soil sample we have ever taken, because if there are sensors, new techniques, we can add them to our laboratory and we can offer better and higher level measurements again. So we have more than 8,000 soil samples stored in our facilities in the Netherlands. How can you profit? How can people profit from what we do? 60% of the crop depends on the quality of the soil. So we think soil fertility, it's not the only thing which grows the crop, but it's an important issue. And if it's 60%, then you should be ready to make sure that your soil is in a good condition. If you look at our knowledge, we're a Dutch company. The yields in the Netherlands are very high. We have small fields, but we do intense. We think we can help with our advice farmers in the world. So what you see here is also actually improve easily. If you look at why is soil testing not very common in Ukraine, we see that the Ukraine has not a focus on soil testing yet. And the reason is that you have the best soils in the world. So you have the 33% of the Chernobyl worldwide is here. So actually, most farmers think that they don't have to soil test because everything is growing from your soil. And actually, you're correct. The only thing you're forgetting is that every time you do that, it's get poorer and poorer and poorer. So that will stop. So you will actually need to start testing and need to know what's happening in the soil to keep that high quality, because that could be a problem in the future. So we think we can help with the right input, and that doesn't mean that you have to have more fertilizer, but at least the right fertilizer will give you higher yields. And knowledge will bring also a better data to your field, a better knowledge of your field, so you will increase as well. And if you start managing your soil, it will be easier for the future as well. So start taking care of what is underneath you, which is 60% of your income. So what to do? Understand the need of your soil, clear analyzing of your soil fertility. That doesn't mean that you have to test it with us, but just start testing, because we think it's important to test and you can increase big time. We offer you affordable and swift analysis by our laboratory in a box, which is a very nice product. We have it on our booth here. Effective use of fertilizers and organic. So we also believe that a part of organic fertilizer is very important as well. And based on the excellent soils in Ukraine, increase of yields of 3 tons per hectare, we think that is a very realistic possibility. I will more or less said this. So the overall yield improvement, if you have 2 minutes, thank you. The next one is the end, so I'm okay. So if you see what you can improve, you can really go improve to 450 euros extra per hectare, which is, I think, a lot of money. So we think we bring something to the Ukraine which is helpful, which is easy to use, and is accessible.